The Sword and Shield era is quickly coming to an end, so I thought it'd be a fun idea to reminisce and kind of go through each set one at a time, one per video, starting off with Sword and Shield base set, kind of ranking them, but not really, just more like talking about how good or bad they were. Of course, this is just going to be my opinion, although I did collect quite a bit of data, so I will be referencing that throughout the video. At this point, I think I've opened at least 50 booster packs of every single Sword and Shield set. Sword and Shield base in particular, I think probably somewhere between 60 and 70 packs. That's not the biggest sample size, but I've also watched a lot of YouTube videos of people opening these packs, and I've also gone through lots and lots of data, so I think I have enough to make a pretty solid opinion on the set. I've mentioned a bunch of times, I'm not the biggest fan of Sword and Shield base set, but it does have some redeeming qualities, some of which I learned about specifically going through all this data for this video. For instance, it has a higher than average pull rate, excluding sets that have things like trainer galleries or amazing rares. Sets like Evolving Skies, Battle Styles, Chilling Reign, none of those sets have any extra pull rates. So typically for those sets, it's in between 7 and 8 hits you can expect per booster box. It's close to 8, it's like 7.8, 7.9 per booster box, whereas Sword and Shield base is actually about 8.1 hits per booster box. But to counter that point, unfortunately, Sword and Shield base sets hits mostly consist of regular V Pokemon, not the full art versions, whereas the sets like Evolving Skies and Battle Styles and Chilling Reign, more of their pulls go into full arts, secret rares, and then they have an entirely separate section that isn't even included in Sword and Shield base, which is the alternate arts. All three of those categories are far more valuable than the regular V arts that Sword and Shield mostly has to offer. There's definitely more negatives about this set than there are positives though, so I'm going to go into another negative before I get back into the positive stuff. Sword and Shield base has the second lowest value of any Sword and Shield set in the entire era. Currently, the most recent set is Astral Radiance. I'm not including specialty sets, so Pokemon Go is out, but I'm not counting that. But value isn't everything. A lot of people just want to collect stuff, so with that in mind, what does the set list look like? Personally for me, after looking through the set list, I really only see like 3 Pokemon that I'm interested in, and 2 of them have artworks that I don't really care for. Especially the Lapras, I think it kind of just looks insane in its regular V art, and like not insane in a good way. But let's get back to the positives for a little bit. Sword and Shield base set is not weighable, so if you're looking to invest in Pokemon, that's actually a really big deal. I've been selling Pokemon cards for about a year now, and in my experience, any set that is weighable, you will never be able to sell single booster packs of it. You can sell sealed, like ETBs or booster boxes, but if you ever want to open a booster box and then sell single packs, you won't be able to sell them. And also, sleeved booster packs, I was originally under the impression that those were not weighable. They were safe, but I found out recently that those are not safe at all. They can still be weighed just as easily as regular loose booster packs. So Sword and Shield base not being weighable is a fantastic thing for anyone who wants to invest in the set. Let's do 2 positives in a row. This is probably the last positive thing I have to say about Sword and Shield base, but it is another big positive. Base sets are typically seen as a very big thing for collectors because it's what started a new era. Even when a base set is awful, like Sun and Moon base set, for example, I still see Sun and Moon base set being more valuable down the line. It currently is, but I see it staying that way and going up. Than something like Crimson Invasion, which is probably slightly less bad than base set. It's also a terrible set, but it's still probably better than base set. But because Sun and Moon base is what started the generation off, it holds a bit more value than an equally, if not slightly better set like Crimson Invasion. I'm less familiar with the X and Y era, but if you want a more extreme example, X and Y base is another set that has very little valuable cards in it, but the X and Y base set is worth an enormous amount of money, and when you compare it to Another terrible set from the same era, Steam Siege. People hate that set. That set is probably 1/4 the value. I'll probably be bringing up that point many times in the future because I plan on doing a video for every set in the Sword and Shield era. Subscribe if you want to see that, by the way. But that's about all I have as far as data goes. Everything from here on would just be personal opinion. And out of the 60 to 70 packs of Sword and Shield base that I've opened, the best card I got in terms of value is the Team Yell Grunt Full Art, which is about a $3 card. I did not get a single secret rare from the set, and I think the only full art Pokemon I got was Wobbuffet, but I do think that I got 2 of them at least. In my own personal experience, I definitely was not getting the higher than average pull rates from that set. It felt incredibly underwhelming in comparison to literally every other set I've opened in terms of the number of hits I was getting. There's so few Pokemon in this set that I'm interested in, so few artworks, the value of each card is so low in comparison to the rest of the sets of the era. Every set Pokemon has ever made, over time, has gone up in value. So while I'm sure that'll still be the case with this one, I think its appreciation will be slower than other sets which completely overshadow it in every category. None of this is financial advice, by the way. I'm just giving my opinions. But in terms of everything I own for Sword and Shield base set, it is very little. I only have maybe 15 to 20 sleeved booster packs and 2 ETBs, and one of them I'm likely going to be opening for a video, so then I'll only be down to 1. As far as ETBs, they kind of go up in value based solely on the artwork on the box rather than the contents of the box. And Sword and Shield base has Zacian and Zamazenta artwork. And from what I've seen, Zacian and Zamazenta are kind of like Urshifu in that they're usually the lowest value Pokemon full art card in an entire set. In every set that they appear in, like Celebrations, for example, they also appear there. They're like 50-cent cards because nobody wants them. So them being the artwork on the Elite Trainer box makes me want them even less, which is why I only have 2, and one of them I plan on opening for a video, so I'll only be keeping 1. I just think there's so many better options in this era in terms of set value. So a quick summary of my opinion on the set. It doesn't really have Pokemon I'm too interested in or artworks that I really like all that much. The value in the set is not there. It's the second worst in the entire era. So opening packs is basically guaranteed to be losing you money. I mean, that's basically the case for all Pokemon sets, but in this case, your chances of losing money are significantly higher than almost any other set in the era. I don't feel comfortable rating sets yet. I'd like to do a full review and analysis of every single set, and then maybe after I've completed the entire era, then I could rank these properly. But at the very least, I feel confident enough to say that this is one of the worst sets in the Sword and Shield era, and I personally plan on completely avoiding it now that I've opened what I feel like is enough packs. But let me know what you guys think. Do you completely disagree and this is like your favorite set ever, or do you feel similar to how I do? And of course, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave me a like. If you want to see Rebel Clash reviewed, feel free to subscribe because I'm going to be doing every set in order of their release dates for the Sword and Shield era. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video.